Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ames. Today we are at the Niello company in Sacramento, California. And Ted, communication and Volie are at top of mind here at the Niello company.
That's right. We're very grateful to Liza Martensen, who's here with us today from Volie. Also, a couple known figures from the Niello company. Karl is with us, as well as Tully. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the centralized BDC, Sarah, something near and dear to your heart.
It is, Ted. And Tully, I want to set the stage. What impact has improved call handling and outbound communication had on appointment conversion, customer satisfaction, and long-term retention?
Great question. When you look at a BDC, a lot of times people think a BDC is for inbound phone calls. And of course, we do a great job not answering those. But the point of it is that I believe that that's kind of a free call for us. But here's the trick of a BDC is your outbound phone calls. Because everybody says, I'm going to text and email everybody. Well, when you look at those statistics for text and emails, they are not that great. But when you look at outbound campaigns, if you're doing the right thing every time, our answer rates on outbound campaigns are as high as 80%. Email and text can't even come close to that. Liza will give us some stats in a minute. But the point it is, a BDC is designed to do what? Is to drive appointments in the service drive and to drive that retention. The outbound campaign is the secret sauce for a BDC.
It's incredible. And Liza, just to, continue that conversation. So what are you seeing across the industry when it comes to those elements of call handling and appointment conversions?
Tully's right. Customers answer the phone better than they respond to text messages and emails. Text messages and emails are very low effort. So they're easy for a rep. A phone call requires more. It requires someone on both ends of the phone. It's an active conversation, but if you're looking for conversion, phone calls are the way to go. Response rates on text messages, Tully said on phone calls is 80%. Text messages is closer to 13%. It's low effort. I would say do it because it's minimal requirement, but your phone call is where you'll get the conversion.
And Karl, your team is on the other end of the phone making these outbound phone calls and having these communications with the customers. What are your customers' feedback? What is your team seeing across these?
Well, I just want to say that Volie's been an excellent partner for us. Very supportive. Liza and her team, Kayla, have been great at helping us drive more calls, being more efficient. And the feedback from the customers is that they really appreciate us reaching out to them, reminding them their service due, reminding them of their appointments. They really appreciate that personal contact rather than just the impersonal text messages or emails.
Let me just piggyback on that. When you look at what we're trying to do to drive retention, we always feel that the email going out to remind you to come in 10 or 12 months is a no-brainer. But the problem is that those people at retention rates could be at 40, 50%. I mean, industry standard 50% is unbelievable. And I think that what happens, what we do is that our focus is not on declines or like people that have never been in 40 years. Honestly, I mean, I care about those people, but I don't really care about those people. What I care about are the people that are my customers every day that are coming back, and we call it 10 and 11, 12 months or based off of their last visit. Those are the ones that are successful. That's the reason why we can get an 80% answer rate. Those are the reason why we can get a 50, 40 to 50, even sometimes 60% conversion rate of them saying yes on the first phone call. This is the key to drive retention, is driving those outbound phone calls. Don't rely on text and email. I'm not trying to bash them, but phone calls in the BDC is the drive that makes this happen.
Liza, I want to follow up with you. Are dealerships right now still relying too heavily on one communication channel? And where are the biggest opportunities to improve customer engagement?
I think if you're not calling, that's your mistake. You can't rely too heavily on phone calls. And, to Tully's point, if you are ignoring your other methods of communication, then yes, but no, you can't lean too heavily into phone calls.
Karl, would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. We talked about response rate on text messages. The response rate on email is even worse, maybe 4% on average for email campaigns. So that phone call is the way to go.
And Karl, I mentioned earlier you centralized the BDC here at the Niello company. Tell us about that because you oversee everything in one location. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 11 BDC agents that are responsible for all 10 rooftops within the Niello company.
And Tully, I know that was a project near and dear to your heart for a long time. And then Volie came along and between Volley and Karl helping put this together.
It was. Without Volley, we'd have never made it happen. Easy software, have access to what, when we call that person, what do we have information in front of our screen? As we get help building our CDP out, which we're very excited about, how do we put that information back into Volley to make those quality phone call outbounds? You cannot do it without software. There's no way. You can't get a printout. You can't go into your DMS and print out and say, whose hasn't been in 10 months? That does not work. A marker pen does not work. Software that helps you drive that is what's going to give you those answers. Now, when we look at our CDP, what's coming up, and we're having a great partnership with DriveCentric on this, is now we have the golden record to give to our BDC agents to make even better phone calls. And that is going to be the next generation of how we're going to do that. We're super excited.
But Liza, I want to touch on the data that Tully brought up. So if the goal is to reach customers quickly and effectively, what does the data tell us about answer rates, response rates, and customer preferences across text, voice, and email?
Sure. Depending on where you're located, who your demographic is, you get better responses via different channels and maybe at different intervals with your customers. So you really have to pay attention to your customer base, your brand, where your store is located. That said, I set a threshold answer rates at least 30%. If your answer rate is lower than 30%, it's not worth the squeeze. Conversion rates, like you mentioned, a good rep can convert 50% on a good opportunity. So paying attention to those missed opportunities and what your customers are telling you, that's your coaching tool.
And Karl, with the data that your team is monitoring, what do you find most effective for your outbound campaigns, and what conversion metrics are you seeing across your team?
Right. So on our best campaigns, we have close to an 80% connection rate. And some of the campaigns, our conversion rate is as high as 50%. So we're really looking forward to the clean data from DriveCentric to improve those numbers even higher.
It's exciting stuff, Ted. This is really the next wave for what happens of amazing customer retention.
It is. Tully, you got a lot going here.
We do, and I can't thank enough Liza and Scott and Volley for helping us make this. We could have not done it without some great software for you, so we cannot thank you enough. Great partnership. We do a lot together, and we're looking great for the future. Is super excited. So thanks so very much.
Absolutely. They've been a huge part of our success.
All right, I'm Ted Ings. I'm here with Sarah Vantine. We are in Sacramento, California. We're at the Niello company, and we are going to be right back.